Howdy! Welcome to Faith of a Child Box videos, helping your family become saints together. Today we will be painting our peg doll of Saint Sabas for his feast day on December 3rd. And this is our picture of him here. And since he lived so long ago, we don't actually have any pictures of him, and the paintings of him are very rare as well. And so that's why we have this black and white picture of him going into a cave like where he would have lived, because he was a monk and a hermit who lived mostly alone, a little bit in a community on Saturdays and Sundays. So we are going to depict him as someone who lived alone and would not have been part of society, and so likely he would have had a long beard. And so we're going to show that in our peg doll. I normally, if you have painted any dolls with me before, you would know that I generally have a sample here, but I have been saint napped, or Saint Sabas has been saint napped, and I do not know where he was put. So we're going to do it from my memory, and I know we can paint together. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. We're going to start with his skin tone here. And you are going to pick which side you want to be his face. Doesn't matter, just pick a spot to be his face. Then you're going to find the center of the top of his head and mark it. Then you're going to find the center of the side of his head down here and mark it. And then you're just going to draw a line between them. And then turn to the other side. Find the center of his bottom of his head. And then draw a line between them. Okay, now you have kind of outlined his face. I'll go along here along the front and bottom also. And then we're just going to fill in his face with this skin tone, and just fill in the whole thing. Don't worry about leaving any blanks in there. All right, now that we have finished his face, I'm going to clean off my brush here. Then we are going to paint his beard. I'm going to start with his beard. Yeah. And like I said, he's going to have a long beard because he didn't bother to trim it. He's not going to a barber. He's not too worried about it. And we're just going to do his hair all white. So I'm just going to take my white, and how long do you want his beard to be? You decide. So find the middle of where you painted his face. His beard's going to go about halfway down his body for me. Okay, and then paint him a scraggly beard here. I kind of make it a little bit triangular on the edges here. Remember, he's not trimming this. He's not getting out his clippers and cutting it off or making it a perfect shape. So he's just kind of keeping a scraggly beard. So go ahead and finish your beard here. Fill it in. And this time it's okay if the face color mixes in a little bit, because like I said, it's a really scraggly beard. It's not neat at all. There we go. Here's his big beard for me. Okay. Now we're gonna keep going with our white, actually, since we're using it here. And I'm gonna paint the bottom white like I like to do, so I can paint their feast day on top of that at the end. And then I'm gonna paint the rest of his hair white as well. So anywhere you didn't cover skin, we're gonna paint white, and I like to outline it first and then fill in. what I did and maybe made his face go too far back, you can pull the hair forward. It will cover that skin tone if you want to make sure he doesn't look bald from the front. We're gonna say he has hair. He didn't go bald. There we go. And now with his beard, he's also gonna have a mustache. But we are going to wait until after we do our smile to do that, so we can build his mustache around his smile. So let's go ahead and do his smile so we can let that dry before we go back into his beard and the beard that's on his face and his mustache around that. So we use our red for his smile. These are close tight. Just a little bit on the tip of your brush. And you're just going to make a little semicircle here. Okay? If you touch lightly with just the tip of your brush here, you'll get a thin little line. And a little more. My brush had a lot of water on it from cleaning it off, so it kind of got smeared there. That's okay. All right, now we've done his smile, and since the skin tone has dried, let's also start his eyes. And so if you've done this with me before, you know my back of the paintbrush trick here. Goodness, these are really close tight today. Okay, so you're gonna take the back of your paintbrush, you're gonna dip it in the black, have some on the end there, you're gonna find where you want his eye to be, and make a dot, and use the back of the paintbrush to make it into a little circle. And do the same on the other side. I just think this gives you a little more control of it to make these eyes. And when we go back and do the little white spot in the middle, it really, really helps also. Even more so then. Okay, so now we have a little face on him. We've got his beard and his hair. So next is his robe. And since we don't really know what he would have worn, I'm going to give him a really simple outfit. I'm going to kind of make a earthy green color for him to wear. This picture we used makes it look like he has a little cape on. So you can add a cape in any color. You can use any color you want for his robe, because we don't really know for sure. But I want him to have kind of an earthy green color. And so we are going to use the green and the white and the black. If I can get this one open again. Goodness. Okay, so I want it to be mostly green. I'm going to mix it in the top of the green here. But I want to be careful not to make too much because I don't want it to leach down into the pot of the green so that St. Lucy's green is still a bright green. So how I'm going to do this is I'm going to put a bunch of green paint up here. There's already some from just traveling and it kind of going upside down. So I'm sure that happened in shipping for y'all. I'm going to clean my paintbrush off completely. Then I'm going to add just a little bit of black to it. We're kind of trying to make the green mixed with black and white, so it's kind of green-gray color. And that to me kind of looks like a really earthy green. And I wish I had my sample and it hadn't been Saint napped and you guys wouldn't see what I mean, but we'll do it together here. It's going to turn out really cool. So mix this all up. And if you mix it up and you don't like the color it turned out, well, you can either wipe it off and start again, or you can add different colors to it to make it more of a color you want. And I like how mine has turned out here. We're going to go with this. Well, you do need a fair amount, but you don't need too much. So I'm going to just color the rest of his body with this green color after I close these. This is going to be his robe. I'm going to paint the whole thing this nice earthy green color that I made. All right, so there's my robe that I'm having him wear. And then if like I said, if you want to make it a different color, that's totally fine. He can wear black. He can wear, you make a gray color. If you want to mix the yellow with maybe some tan to make kind of a sandy color because he lived in the desert. And maybe that would help you remember that. And that I love seeing y'all's unique creations. And so I want to see what y'all chose to do for his robe here. So next thing we're going to do is we are going to do his dress with his beard. Okay, and so it's going to be wild. So we're going to take a little bit on the edge. Ooh, careful with that green. It's probably still wet. You hold them in the top and the bottom. If your hand is big enough, that is a good way to keep your hands cleaner. We're going to take a little bit on the tip of our brush. And we're going to start by making his mustache. Just kind of a curved line that goes over his smile. And there's his mustache. I'm just going to come down here on the sides. Okay. We're also going to kind of make a circle. Finish the circle under his smile. Okay. There's a really big beard. Okay. So it's going to come up here to the side. And we're just going to fill in his big beard here. Because he doesn't care about shaving. He just grows as long as it'll grow. I'm going to make his mustache a little bit thicker here. There we go. There we go. I might move his hair a little bit further front here to make it a little more visible when you look at him from the front. There we go. How cute is he? The last step here is little whites of his eyes here. And we're going to use the back of the paintbrush again. Just want a little bit here. Maybe a little bit more than that. And you're going to very lightly touch in the middle of his, black of his eye. And then one more time, very lightly touch. Sometimes if you have a good dot of paint there at the end, you don't even have to touch the paintbrush to it. The paint will just grab it. And then the last step that I like to do is to paint or write the feast date on the bottom so I can remember, I can reference it easily. And so his feast date is December 3rd. So you can use a Sharpie, you can use a ballpoint pen, a gel pen, or you can be brave and choose your paint, which is what I have in front of me. And there you go, Saint Sabas. Please let me know if you guys have any questions about how to paint this or any other questions. I do want to remind y'all, if you haven't heard, we are releasing, we have released subscription terms. So now you can pay in advance for 6 or 12 months and receive a discount on your subscription. Or if you would like, we have just the lessons for a hard copy or a digital copy. And we have a brand new Peg Dolls only box where you will just receive the supplies to paint the Peg Dolls with us. And those will be sent in 3-month groups. And these videos starting in January will become subscriber exclusive. So you have to subscribe. So if you are just checking them out, we really suggest that you check us out at faithofachildbox.com and subscribe. Thanks. I'll see you next time.